I will just say hello to everybody and welcome you tonight. Thank you so much for coming. I have a great class on different ways to balance the chakras, the energy centers, take our power back, kind of get in touch with ourselves. And we can always use as many tools as we have available. And if we don't know what those tools are capable of, sometimes we can have these really cool, tools sitting in our garage. We go, oh, that's what that's for, or that's what that can do. I want this to kind of be hopefully a little bit enlightening for you guys so that you can use the things that you have around home. Maybe there's certain scented items. I'm kind of one of those sorry, I'm just going to share this. I'm kind of one of those people that is the clair olfactant, I think they call it, where it smells really help me kind of get into a state, get into that sort of connected state. It's just something that really, really works for me. And it does make such a difference in so many ways that I'm terrible at trying to multitask here. So I'm just going to share this up and then I'll be able to actually talk all at the same time. There we go. All right, let's see if this works for me. Can you guys see that all right? It's probably the other version, I think. You can see it though? A screen? Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so I don't know how much experience you guys have with actually using essential oils for your health, for internal use, for things like this, but there are certain oils. The brand that I use is called doTERRA. And the reason that I use them is simply because they do more testing than any other company I've ever seen out there. I've been with all of them because I've been using them for so many years in my massage therapy practice. Now that I'm just doing coaching, I'm still using them as much and maybe even more, but I've kind of transitioned into the emotions uses of them, and I've really transitioned into the pain relief for myself with them, just because I was in a terrible accident that actually prevented me from doing massage anymore. So I really had to open the box a little bit and try and figure out something else that I may be able to do that could actually make a difference for people, but still be something that's simple, something that's easy, something that is accessible, but pure. So this is a way that I've kind of combined everything all in one. Now, I'm sure you guys know what energy centers are, so I'm not going to get too much into them. However, what is said about them is that they are kind of like a little cyclone that's sort of like this little spiral that exists in your body. And there's centers where they all hold different energies. They all hold different strengths. They all hold different weaknesses. But when they're in balance, they can help you to be your true, essential, fullest expression of yourself. And something that I want you guys to think about today is what that fullest expression of yourself is. I want you to think about, when you look at these things that I have noted down with the energy centers, what would your fullest expression be? What would you like to achieve with each center being balanced? And what could you achieve with each center being balanced? So I'm going to give you guys a little mind work to go through while I end up having the slideshow go through for you. So the root chakra is essentially right at our pelvis. Everybody tends to call this root the number one chakra, the number one energy center. It's always associated with red because it's the healing color for that area. And I know I've talked a lot about that before. So I'm going to just kind of go through the characteristics that we can have. So excessive characteristics with a root chakra will often be things like going out shopping, even though you don't have the funds, or just kind of making some kind of purchase that maybe you should have waited for, like that money, it's not even there to cover, but we still kind of override it. Resistance to change, if you really don't like surprises, or if you really don't want something to happen, but you're really fighting, or you really want something to happen, but you're really fighting against it yourself. feeling kind of lazy, or just, not being a quick mover. Some people, you see they're like little hummingbirds. Their root chakras are usually very balanced. So then when you're looking at things like addictions, overeating, hoarding, not being able to release things, not being able to let go of things, or keeping things that are just, material, but they don't really even mean anything to you. And often being a workaholic, this is one of the things that can really kind of be associated with that root chakra. And so we're going to go over a few things that kind of balance that out. But at the end, we'll do a meditation to balance this too. So if someone has deficient characteristics, so say their root chakra is just, it's very depleted, it's not been honored at all, it's in a really sort of closed state, you're going to know that this person is having trouble keeping on weight. They're very fearful, they're almost like a hummingbird. They're very restless, their nervous system is overactive all the time. I see this with nervous characteristics that actually goes to a physical point. They're really spacey. They are just not grounded, just not one of those grounded people. And they can really want to be, but they're just sort of flighty. Like you wouldn't be counting on them for things, because they can you wonder how they get themselves dressed in the morning. This is when our root chakra is really, really depleted. And these things do happen from traumas, there's so many reasons that this can happen, right? I'm just going to admit another person here. Hello, welcome, Harriet. All right, let me know as well if I am going too quick for you guys. Okay, so some of the fun things that we have are the essential oil blends like Balance. We have another one called Serenity that sort of helps for sleep and actually relaxing the muscles as well. But if you have things like basil in your kitchen and you tend to really like dressings with it or anything like that, absolutely use the basil. It is so good. Like it's so cleansing. It's so good for things like balancing out the hormones. It's actually really good for your liver and your kidneys. So basil is something that you can just sort of support yourself. You even throw a leaf in your water. It's so nice. Frankincense is going to give you that connection to yourself. It's going to calm you. Vetiver and myrrh and patchouli too, are very good for sort of shutting the brain off into a new level, being able to actually ground. So if a person's having a really hard time grounding, or isn't able to actually get connected, that's where I will throw patchouli or vetiver or any of those things in there. Okay, sorry, we're losing people. I don't know if my Zoom is kicking them out. All right, so we're going to just move up to sacral chakra. So can you guys see that okay, or is that in the way? Yeah, okay. So the sacral chakra is where we sort of move into the reds, the oranges. This is going to be where you see sometimes people are they're attached to other people. They really don't like to be alone. They sort of need to be with someone to feel like they can get things done, or feel like they need that someone else to kind of bounce things off of all the time. And this is a normal thing, right? But where we look at if it's out of balance, if it's like a little too much, just when it's just a little too much, it's just, you can tell when it's gone on, that balance has just gone over the edge a little bit. Obsessive attachments, like, always talking about their ex, or something along that lines, where they're just cannot let it go, and it's been 15 years, that kind of thing. This is where we're really in the excessive characteristics. So sexual addictions, again, spaciness can be sort of that ungroundedness. Flightiness, oversensitive, poor boundaries, or mood swings. So poor boundaries it comes through a lot with the sacral plexus, and also with the solar plexus that's right above it. When we're our boundaries sort of start in our root, and that's where we get our boundaries from our families, from our generations, the things that we were told to do, the things that we were shown that we had to do. And then as it gets up into the sacral plexus and into the solar plexus a little more, that's more us and our ego and what we can sort of do on our own, and the things that we do on our own. So our emotions can be really trapped in that sacral chakra, and that's all the low back, that's all the pelvis muscles, that's all a lot of the sexual organs, bladder, things like that. So the whoops, going back. Sorry, guys. There we go. So yeah, being rigid, fears of change, lack of passion, poor social skills, boredom. That, when someone just, just is bored all the time, even though they could have lots of things to do, they just kind of they don't even maybe want to be bored, but they're just bored. That tends to be something that ends up taking place when that sacral chakra is really blocked. So I found, or really sort of really deficient. So when I say blocked, it's like it's so blocked because it's drained. It's just a completely sort of shriveled up, poor little sacral chakra. If it's expanded, it's kind of like the room got trashed by a robber, and it's just kind of out all over the place. It's like a complete difference. When we're in balance, we have stuff in there, but it's put away. It's nice. It's all contained within that nice little cycle, and it can flow. And they rotate it at basically a clockwise position. So what I do is, in my course, I do I don't know if you guys have ever used a pendulum, but we use a pendulum to check if your energy centers are blocked or not. So generally we do it in a classroom. The one thing I'm trying to figure out is how to have a person do it to themselves, which you can, but it's a lot easier if someone does it for you. And you go over the energy center and you just hold your pendulum over it. And if it goes in a clockwise motion, it's balanced. If it goes any other way, like sometimes it swings back and forth, sometimes it'll go in the other circle completely. So then you know how out it is. So you can actually really tell exactly what's going on with the pendulum. It's kind of neat. So even if you have a necklace and a ring on like, you can totally just hold it over your energy centers. If you're feeling like, I want to sort of check this out, you just literally hold it over and you just ask it to basically read your energy center. Is this energy center balanced? And it will do the exact thing that it's supposed to do. It's really, really cool. And you can just kind of basically you can do it right from feet up to, there's chakras everywhere, even in our palms. You can end up checking them. It's really cool. So the sacral chakra, you can check that as well, of course, but yeah, you kind of know, if you just sort of have no passion, just, even just that sexual meh, it's just kind of like meh, why, it's a lot of work. That's a good way to know your sacral chakra can be a little bit closed up. So that's just some good ways to sort of know. So some really nice supporting oils. Those grounding oils are always really nice. The patchouli, bergamot is what's in Earl Grey tea. You've probably smelt it, tasted it. So Earl Grey tea is wonderful for stress relief. That's why it's always in any kind of stress potion you're going to get will have bergamot in it. It's one of the most comforting oils that there is. And it's kind of like it's from the lemon and orange tree. It's just a nice citrus fruit. And wild orange is very uplifting too, and a really good one for creativity. So I love using a mixture of these oils, depending on, what it is that you want to really help balance out. We have the emotions blends that I have done a class on before, that have all of the oils in it that are actual blends, and you can just go buy them with the emotions. So they're really good for the energy centers too. But some people have particular oils. Yeah, Sarah's got it right there. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, you can actually just take your cheer and just rub it all over your neck and you feel happy right away. You don't have to think about it. But a lot of people do have a lot of these oils at home and just haven't really known what to do with them. So this kind of helps you really learn to know what to do with them. So we're going to move a little bit up into the solar plexus. The solar plexus is, of course, right above the navel. So this is our belly, and this is where our true boundaries come from. This is where we really, if a person has trouble with boundaries, this is where you will see things end up stirring up in their guts. They'll have gut trouble, they'll have IBS, they'll have stuff going on, they'll sort of hold their fear there. If it's really excessive, you can be dominating or controlling. They don't try to, but they try to control everything. So they try and make everything easy for you sometimes, but it's actually just because of their lack of boundaries, and they just want to be that people pleaser, right? You can be super competitive or over hyperactive, or just sort of a little bit in the ego, or even too stubborn, or a bit of a workaholic, because again, the boundaries, right? If it's really shriveled, this is a big one. The solar plexus is big. It's like it's one of the bigger ones. It fears being, if you have the fears of being alone, or you just can't get out of that victim, that, you know, that we talk all about being in the creative structure, or in the ego structure, the egoic identity. If we get stuck in that egoic identity that is holding us back from the things that we really want, it's often this solar plexus. And that, you know, sort of balancing this out with just a few oils, or you know, the stones, the colors, all of it, you're going to end up being able to both balance your guts and end up feeling like you're liked, and you know, being able to not be passive aggressive. You'll have energy, you won't feel jealous, because those energies aren't being drained by all of these things, right? So a good one to cook in the kitchen with, well, four of them, well, three of them, I guess: coriander, oregano, ginger. I like lime too. I use it in a lot of marinades and stuff. So I've definitely started to utilize that. I have black pepper that I use too. So if you're looking for, you know, something to kind of empower you, ginger's amazing, and it's also going to help your metabolism. So you rub some ginger on your belly. Not only is your belly going to get slimmer and thinner, and it's going to help the cells to sort of purge anything it doesn't want, it's actually going to make you feel empowered, like ginger, right? It's so great. You can throw that in your bath, even have an empowerment bath. It's just beautiful. Cedarwood will make you kind of feel like getting along with people and really feel like being part of the team, as well as making you be able to file your thoughts a little bit. So I feel like cedarwood's always a good one, especially if we're having family over. And citrus bliss is a blend of tangerine and clementine and vanilla and wild orange, and it's just gorgeous. It's like it's pretty much a diffuser blend that we always have going in our house. And I throw lime or lemon in my water just to have a little bit of extra vitamins and nutrients in my water as well. So the heart chakra, we are going to move on up, focusing on others, poor boundaries, pleasing everyone, being a martyr, and jealousy. Those can definitely be the characteristics of having an excessively open heart chakra. So our people pleasers, we know that, right? If it's not, if you like have no heart, or you know, don't want to be intimate, don't like being around people, are really critical and judgmental, and are completely lonely at the same time, your heart chakra can be a little bit closed. So that's where we would end up looking at oils such as the tea tree oil. You guys have probably heard of that, maybe even had it around. That's a great one for boundaries. It's almost, it's a very cleansing smell. So it's a nice one to just put in the diffuser, or put on a dishcloth and wipe your counters or your floors with. It's antifungal, it's antibacterial, and plus it's actually going to help you with putting boundaries up, which is really cool. Peppermint's going to lift your heart a little bit. Geranium's really good for trust, for the feeling of love. There's so many blends that we have, but lemon and thyme are ones that you can also use in like marinades and recipes and that kind of stuff. But it's also going to support to cleanse and help your body with forgiveness. So if you're having forgiveness where you want to kind of try and end up allowing that through your system, the thyme is going to make a big difference with that. It really is. So if you guys happen to have something that has thyme in the recipe, or even if you see some fresh herbs at the store, those are the ones to look out for those energy centers if you're wanting to kind of balance them. Just simply having them in your field, simply having them in your body is going to basically bring the vibration of that plant into your body and allow you to raise your vibration, because the body's vibration operates at around 65 megahertz or so, right? So every negative thought we have can bring it down a little bit, and every positive thought that we have is actually going to help raise it. The food that we're going to use is going to ground us and end up raising our vibrations. It's going to allow us to heal a little bit easier. So it's super cool. So our throat chakra, so you guys know about this, of course, talking being a little bit too loud, talking a little bit too much. Again, this stuttering, it comes out so fast that you can't control it. The throat chakra might just be a little bit too open. Gossiping, if someone just loves to just blah blah blah, like they just, you just know that as soon as you see them, it just kind of falls out, or can't keep a secret. That tends to be that throat chakra too. Or if it's the complete opposite, where you have a really big fear of speaking, you don't want to, you are really scared of being heard or seen, or weak in your speaking, or just super shy or secretive, or even maybe have hearing problems, or tones are difficult for you. So I found that really interesting too when I was studying them. So for supporting your throat, again, basil, black pepper, like I was talking about. So you can totally use these in marinades, which is amazing. Cilantro, so anybody likes cilantro, you can absolutely use that. Ginger, ginger is one of those ones that, like I say, you can put on your body, you can end up using in a tea, you can use it in your recipes. It's going to, again, make you feel empowered. Lavender will help you with communication. So even if you have itchies around the throat, or like phlegm, or sometimes people get hives or they react to certain things, that ends up being that throat chakra. But lavender is also an antihistamine, so just by putting it on the throat, you're gonna lower any kind of reaction, or reduce any kind of reaction that you end up may having. So yeah, that's exactly why ginger ale works for tummy troubles. You're exactly right. Love you guys. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to get through the last couple, because we're going to have a really beautiful meditation after this. Our crown chakra. So dissociation from the body. So if some people are having things like literally like multi-personality disorders, things like this, where they're really having a hard time, or even in the like complete realm of almost being into a cult kind of thing, where they are sort of starting to dissociate with reality, having really bad addictions in certain things that aren't necessarily bad, but can still be sort of overdone a little too much. Same thing with attachments. They can be super brilliant, but almost so much so that they don't even understand themselves, to a point of confusion. There's a lot of people out there like that too, where you're not even sure what they're saying, and I don't think they are either. The deficiency characters of the crown chakra. Oh, I missed the third eye. Sorry, I'm going to go back to that one after. Well, since we're already done the crown chakra, I was like, wait a second. Let's talk about not knowing what I'm talking about here. Spiritual cynicism. So, a person that is just going to they have to be right. They are going to just insult absolutely anything that is going to tell them anything different, and that may have a hard time with being apathetic as well. The oils for supporting this energy center, the crown chakra right at the top of your head, is this one called Melissa, which is also called lemon balm. So some people may have that in a lotion. Anything like that is beautiful. We have a couple other blends that it talks about, Zendocrine and Purify, which are both basically cleansing and detoxing blends. Purify isn't one you would use in your body, but Zendocrine is. Zendocrine actually helps to cleanse the filtering organs, like your gallbladder and kidneys and skin and intestines and stuff. So it's actually really cool. You rub it on, you drink it, you do all sorts of stuff. Frankincense, again, you would just take a couple drops in your hand, rub it in your hand, and just cup it around your nose and mouth, and just inhale it for like 30 seconds. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, got a couple more people hopping in, so I'll just say hello. Hey, Andy, welcome. So yeah, things like surrender, even if you have wintergreen gum, if you choose some wintergreen gum, it's going to end up helping you with surrender as well, which is kind of cool. So I skipped over that third eye, and I'm just going to jump back to it for a quick moment. So our third eye, our intuition, where our pineal gland and our pituitary glands are right through our head. We tend to have difficulty concentrating if we have a really open really sort of out of balance third eye. So difficulty concentrating, staying in that daydream state too much, having too many memories, those traumas, just maybe it's awful. You just can't let something go. It's just no matter what. well, since that, da, 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 I can't, since that, you'll hear it a lot, right? People that are having the night terrors, nightmares, hallucinations, or obsessions, that can end up being the third eye just being, like they've just sometimes have done way too much work, and that can really bring things out of balance too, right? If a person really seems hard-headed or can't see any other alternatives, and is kind of skeptical, just won't imagine visualizing anything, just in denial all the time, they just don't open that. And you often see, again, people wind up with some health problems and things due to that, right? So that whole contracted state, especially of those two glands, can be really detrimental to our health. Alrighty, the third eye, some of the oils that help that as well. Juniper berry is really cool. Juniper berry does so many things because it helps, like if people have urinary tract infections, I give them juniper berry. It actually makes the person feel whole. If they have hardcore anxiety, I give them juniper berry. There's so many things that it's good for. So if you happen to have any lotions with these potions at home, anything in them, they are really going to help you. Rosemary is great for knowledge. Rosemary and peppermint will wake your brain up. They're going to allow those thoughts to get in. They're going to sort of uplift you. And it's just going to be a whole incredible experience if you're doing some meditating with some oils to kind of, just tune you up a little bit. It's quite neat. And again, that lemon balm really helps with dispelling darkness. If people are really dark, that's lemon balm. I don't enjoy the smell of it. I really don't enjoy the smell of it. I wish I loved the smell of it, but it's not pleasant. Some people, however, though, will take it and literally just eat it. It's absolutely amazing. So what I wanted to talk about, of course, is our energy, right? It always flows with our thought. It's always going to go where we send it. So one of the things I want to do tonight is the very last thing I want to do with you guys tonight is to do a healing meditation with you, where I thought it would be really fun to go try on our new superhero suits. So we have these superhero suits that are inside of us. Yeah, you guys didn't know this? It's really neat. In some of the courses that I've taken, it's the meditations that they do are so unique. And one that I really liked, and I think it was one of the RJ Sheena ones where he takes you into a spaceship, and you go into this big spaceship, and with some of the people that I had on one of our previous calls, their brains would really go computer. So I was thinking this would be ideal for them. But what I really like is just kind of going simple, and we're just going to try on our new superhero suit once we get up to that state of consciousness. It's going to be a lot of fun. So what I want us to do is to be able to have a little button that we can turn on to get in touch with our sentience, with our energy field that is kind of right behind our rib cage and right in front of our spine. And there's this little part that's sort of inside of us. And have you guys all ever thought that maybe that really we're in these bodies, we are in these souls, we were these sentients, we were brought here through consciousness. However, we all wound up on this call tonight. We all wound up together. We all wound up exploring what else is out there, as far as, I'm just going to stop sharing this so that I can see you guys better, and so that you can chat if you wanted to. What if all of these moments were, sorry, I'm just going to mute you guys so that everybody can hear. What if we were really taught, like this whole, sorry, you guys, whoops. So what if we were meant to be in this exact body, in this exact time? Because I really feel like everything is meant for a reason, right? It really, really is. What if we weren't in these bodies at this time? What if we hadn't gotten to where we are at this point right now. Like when you kind of think back to all of the things that you've done over time, all of the little chances that you've had, the times you could have changed your mind. The way that this, where I guess where my thoughts went was this body, I have this body, right? And it tends to not always want to work with me. It tends to work against me sometimes, in that it's like, why is it, why is it so difficult to just, I make up my mind, I want to change things, but then that, that follow through just doesn't happen. And we all know that there's these thoughts that sort of keep us in the structure. And we all kind of know that as long as we're really creating what we want, we're able to kind of stay in that creative structure instead of letting that egoic identity take us to where we don't want to go. And it simply is a matter of our will, our faith, our focus, our creation, our repetition, and our action every single day. And I'm always, but I go like 80% and I get super, super good and super close. But I've been asking myself lately, what if I went that extra 20%? What if I actually just did it? And I feel like I am ready to go for it, because right tonight is the full moon of shedding everything that was no longer working for us, of removing the resistance that has always been holding us back that we know is there, and truly allowing this to happen. And we always are working on retraining and retraining and retraining the brain and working the muscle and working the muscle. But I feel like I have all these muscles that were so strong before, and they're getting these constant indications every day that I'm making great choices and this is working out well and this is really going the way I want it to. It's really happening every day in just little ways. It's not perfect. It's not every single day. It's not, but the little things are happening more and more, just like they always say they will. It's this food is kicking my ass. Holy Moses. Is it ever? I went into the Walmart yesterday to just pick up a few things, and this gentleman was kind of like running into the shelves getting some mouthwash. Like, it was not a good scene. This Aboriginal man was having this really hard time, and my heart was kind of breaking for him. And I could feel him wanting to come and talk to me, but I was like, I can't do this right now. And
not
the
today.
women, right? The women that were working there were like, oh my, what is good? This has been the craziest day. And I was like, oh, it's just the full moon, don't worry. And they're like, thank God you said that. I was ready to go start drinking mouthwash in the back myself because I don't know what the heck is going on. They were so funny. They were just like, thank God you said that. And I mean, I take care of 7 kids after school. Trust me, I'm like, this is why I'm at Walmart. I'm not going home right now. They're not. No. It's been madness. And this is a huge one. This is our planting moon. This is
The
the
big one.
seeds we've been planting this last month, and that we're going to continue to plant today. Like, every day we're planting these seeds, right? And now this is go time, because every year I've had my garden and I've not maintained it enough. I've had too much stuff take my attention away so that I couldn't harvest properly. And this year I am set and intent on, I have 5 feet of snow in my backyard right now, so I can say this without worrying too much. I know I can get it planted within a couple of months here, but like, I'm ready, like this is it. And things are truly shifting to remind me of this every day. Like, it really is happening. And it's just, I want to be able to kind of give you guys a little tool to use some of the stuff that I'm using to just kind of help balance things out, because we do a lot of mind stuff, but the body stuff is huge. And so what I want to do right now is just kind of go into a little meditation, not a super long one, maybe 10 minutes or so, of just releasing all these, when you go in from the car and we just carry way too many bags in all at once. We're going to pretend that we've been
About an
carrying
hour
these,
and a half ago, I was doing
right?
that.
We're
Yep.
going to go for a walk and we're going to carry all these bags. We're going to imagine packing our bags as full as we possibly can. And we're just going to go to a space where we can just meditate for a little bit. So I'm going to just enjoy the energy that you guys have here, and just I'm not going to do recode at all. Not that I'm not doing it, just not tonight, not right now. I just want to do a little meditation. I want us to start to enjoy some silent meditation to ourselves, to really, when we shut that brain off, when we really actually allow ourselves to just sit and be, like literally sit in a seated position, and even on a pillow, cross the legs, and like a few times a day, just allowing ourselves some time, not having a time limit on, and doing a little bit of a silent meditation, just simply allowing. And when thoughts come into the brain, just ask yourself, who's having these thoughts? You literally say to yourself, I'm having these thoughts. They're really not thoughts, like just literally put them down, let them go, touch on them, notice what they are. Absolutely allowing yourself to kind of see what it is, but not feel it, just allow it to be in your field for just a moment, to let it float like a cloud, to let it disperse, to not hold it inside, to breathe it out. So we're going to do some of that. We're going to do some breathing out. And I'm going to teach you guys how to heal yourselves while you're in that meditation, because it's really neat. When you're in that, you can, even if you're having a hard time and you want to focus on something, you can focus on actually doing a little bit of self-healing, because I'm going to just hold a bit of a space where we can allow any of that shifting and releasing and holding to happen. I'm doing a lot of energy work lately, so we're going to just get into a fun space. So when you guys are ready, I'm just going to have you close your eyes and just connect to yourself. We're going to put our fingers on our chest. Can be one hand, can be both, it doesn't matter. But I want you to just take a few deep belly breaths. And as soon as I put my fingers on my chest there, I like to almost imagine that my true self is kind of hiding in between that breastbone and that spine and that little space there. And it's almost like a small hand can reach out and connect and touch to mine that's just on top of my chest. Your true self, the one that wants all the good for you. And I want you to think right now about your health and about your balance and about your energy centers. And I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you would really like to achieve? I feel that energy center do a little jump sometimes, that high heart, that area of my body, almost like I'm talking to it. It responds. And I want you to think about what you want to achieve with your health. What is it you really want to achieve? It doesn't matter what it is, no judgment. If it's just feeling good, if it's just being able to put my socks on without grunting. I want you to just think about what it is you'd like to achieve with your health. Sorry, Sarah. And it can be really simple, or it can be really big. Like, I want to have a really buff body. I want to wear a bikini this year. Could be anything. I just want you to think about my solar plexus jump when I said a bikini. I'm not wearing a bikini. And at this moment, I want you to think about your physical self. And you can just drop your hands to where they're relaxed on your lap now. I'd like you to just continue breathing. And if you find thoughts starting to race into your head, give yourself 2 silent breaths. By silent breath, I just mean if a thought comes in, give that thought to the breath where you're actually allowing it to process through your body with the silent breaths. And after those 2 silent breaths, breathing normally, we're just going to breathe that thought out into the universe with sound. And I'm going to guide you slowly. We are going to go for a walk on this dirt path, this dirt road. And it's leading to this big airplane hangar, but you had to sort of park far away, and you've got everything with you. You've got all your old stories, you've got all of your old beliefs, you've got your old body, the one that you're in right now, and you're just walking and you're carrying all these bags, and you've already been carrying them for quite a while from the car. You're almost afraid some of them might burst. There's so much stuff in there. There's all the family generational stuff. There's going to be all the old stories. Just imagine carrying all these grocery bags and you're walking towards a big airport hangar. And I want you to notice how heavy all that stuff is getting. And I want you to realize that you just carried it all this way. You actually didn't need it for anything. It's just stories. It's not even you. Might have been things that people have said, might have been things that people have done, it might have been traumas, it might have been awful. You don't need any of it right now. Everything you have is just right inside of you. And you're about to go get a bit of an awakening that you've never had before. So I want you to just imagine you're putting all those bags down. Just notice one by one. Don't even have to notice what's inside. Just notice how heavy they were. How good it feels to just put all of them down. Just letting all of them go. Just actually putting them on the ground. And I want you to notice how much lighter you feel, when your arms almost float after as all the blood starts to come back into them. And you're going to walk towards this big airport hangar. It looks almost old and kind of out of place. And there's no one else and nothing around. You're going to get closer to it and you're going to see a big door. And I want you to just notice what that airplane hangar smells like. If it smells like gasoline, or if it smells like maybe what airline fuel smells like. Maybe there's flowers. I just want you to notice what you actually smell around there, what you see, what the colors are like, what the building looks like, and just go towards the door. And you're going to open it up. And inside that door, you see this really amazing glowing tube. It's like a tube that's got this human-sized suit inside of it. And you just realize that it's your suit. It's this suit that's been made. May even have a logo on it, or all I can see is Stark Industries because I've been watching too much Marvel with my family. But you're going to notice that this big tube that this suit is just floating inside of is waiting there for you. I want you to just take all this in. It's almost like watching a movie. This suit is literally suspended in this tube. You don't know if it's liquid or plasma or what's in there. You just see a suit. And I want you to notice what your suit might look like and what it might feel like. And as your body gets closer to it, I want you to start imagining what that door would look like to open this tube. And I want you to move towards it. There's stairways going up to it. You're not worried at all. Obviously, you were meant to find this. You just had to put all that stuff down so you could make it to the end of your journey. And I want you to notice that even as you start to get close to this tube, to get close to this door, the cells in your body are starting to almost activate and vibrate. And so you open the door and there's no plasma, there's no liquid, it's just iridescent light. And you can't quite see this suit anymore, but this tube is opened up in the most beautiful way to just allow you inside. And I want you to just step inside when you're ready. I want you to take just a couple of deep breaths through the belly. If you have thoughts coming, take 2 silent breaths. As you feel yourself enter this tube and become one with this suit, you watch it envelop your body, starting down at the feet. It's just starting to almost computerized style cover your feet. And I want you to just imagine the warmth and the safety and the magic that's happening as these little pixels are coming all over your feet and the bottoms of your legs and starting to form your superpower suit. As it moves through your cells, as it moves through your body, I want you to say to yourself, I choose to heal all of my cells. I choose to clear, transmute, and let go of anything in my feet. And allow your suit to move up your legs and just ask and choose and own that you are healing all the cells in your knees and your legs as that suit covers them. And I want you to feel how good that suit feels as it's starting to just wrap around your upper thighs. And you notice as it's wrapping around, it's sort of toning and tightening everything to the perfect form that you always kind of wanted. It's just almost like this invisibility cloak that's just coming over you and just replacing. It's turning you into this light source. You don't even need to know the color. You can just feel the suit starting to come up, moving up your body, moving up your hips. The colors are starting to shift into reds as they're moving into your pelvis. The oranges are coming into your sacral plexus, into your pelvis, into your lower stomach, into all your organs. And the yellow coming up through the solar plexus above the stomach. Just allowing the suit to just wrap around you, just correcting any cell that needs correcting. It's like a computer program that was perfectly written for you that's just literally unloading viruses, cleaning and clearing them, transmuting that energy in this healthy clockwise spiral fashion, just moving through your body. moving up through that heart center, into the greens, moving all of it through the spine. And just allow your body, your spine to heal. Allow the energy to move. Bring life into your spine, into your legs. Feel the tingles of the nervous system starting to just light up. Feeling the magic of this suit, taking away all the pain, just literally transmuting it and clearing it. Replacing all of these programs, you can almost hear them starting to work properly. I see pages just being filed and put away. Old viruses, old programs, stopping, restarting, defragging. Just allowing that to move into the blues of the throat chakra. All of those old programs, moving it up into the third eye and just allowing your breath to go to these areas right between the eyes, right behind the eyebrows, into the forehead, through the ears, and up like a violet flame into the crown. And now that you've adjusted to your suit, I just want you to notice what it feels like. And it's time to test this suit out, because it does more than healing all our cells. And I want you, if you can, either imagine in your head touching your high heart again, or taking your fingers and actually placing them on your chest and pressing the button. Putting your fingers there and imagine that turning on, kind of like the power of the light source, of energy, of source energy. And I want you to just feel as this tunnel starts making you float. And what you realize is it's actually clearing consciousness, and it's actually bringing you levels up. Levels up at a time. You were already in the third level of consciousness, and we are moving up levels right now in this tube in the most safe and exciting way. You're able to see things. It's all a clear tube. There's doors at every level if you want to get out. But I want you to just imagine the light getting brighter and the levels moving up from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up, moving through these levels of consciousness like you have this direct tunnel to source energy wherever you want to go. And you keep on going up, and you keep on going up until it feels safe. If you want to get off at a floor, you absolutely can. You can hop back on for the ride. We're going to go all the way up. We're going up past 18, 19, 20. I want you to just feel the energy rising in your body, feeling that vibration actually rise in your body as you simply allow your body to heal from anything that it needs to heal. You simply allow your body to release any of those traumas. Allowing some of those stories. Allowing some of those shifts you help people through all the time, just simply surrendering. I want you at this moment to imagine surrendering. And the only thing above you right now is pure energy, pure light source beyond the other side of the moon, where energy is just a boundless. I want you to just notice your breath. And I want you to notice what level you're at right now. And if you can go a little bit higher, maybe you're in the 30s. Can we make it up to 50? Can we time and travel space through energy in our spacesuit up to level 50? It's getting hard to breathe in this consciousness. We're going to have to let some more things go, and I want you to just empty your body. Whose ears are ringing right now? I want you to imagine breathing out fears. Breathing out anxieties. I heal my body with each breath. I'm repairing, activating, and releasing anything in the body that needs to be released with my breath. And I want you to just be in this highest level of consciousness. I feel like we reached floor 50. Level 50, there's still more ahead. We can go a long way. And I want you to just relax your hands and your arms, and I want you to notice any tension in your body right now. If there's anything that's talking to you, there's just some breath that needs to be sent to that area. So you simply fill it with the light that's outside of you and inside of you all at the same time, just allowing your body to heal, to clear and transmute any of those energies that need to change, releasing any ties to outside sources that are still drawing attention, still drawing energy, and just allowing those to be burned by Saint Germain's violet light in the most respectful and most beautiful way. And now I want you to notice that you've supercharged your suit, that it actually can't really shut off anymore, but that's okay. Because in this safe tube, if we were out playing, we're going to step back in and we're going to allow ourselves to come back down, back to level 3 and back into time and space reality. And we're going to allow our body to release and transmute anything else it needs to. And we're just going to go down through the levels as slow as we need to, maybe enjoying the ride down a little bit more, feeling more at one with our suit. And we're going to allow our body's energy centers to simply balance where they need to, allowing all of the energy to do the work for us, just allowing your body to feel whatever it needs to feel. And coming back down. As everything feels like it has shifted. I want you to notice that you're back on the 3rd level. And you're still wearing your suit, but as you open the door, you go into disguise mode. There's a little button right on your sleeve that you can push if you need to hit back into superpower mode. Disguise mode will allow your body to feel the least amount of pain that it can. It will allow your senses to be open at a very safe level. With all of the boundaries safely in check, there's not anything that can really penetrate your suit anymore. And you have little superpower buttons that are all embedded in your suit. And I want you to imagine every day that you maybe try out a new button, where you maybe just try and activate and ask that as the suit is coming onto your body and wrapping around you, almost like it's computer generated, that it is balancing and keeping you as energetic and motivated on every level. And I want you to take a few nice deep breaths. As you step out of the tube and you are back in the airport hangar. And as you're walking down the stairs, you notice your body feels different. And I want you to just imagine what your disguise suit looks like. It could be the same clothes that you came in with the hangar. Don't want to be obvious to anybody. But I just don't want you to notice for a moment what you feel like, what you look like as you're walking away from that airport hangar. You're just going to leave the tube there. You know it's there. You're going to close it off. And you're going to open the door and walk out, closing it behind you. And as you're going to go back down the path, down the dirt road, you're going to come back to yourself and almost forget about what happened except for this super suit that you're rather excited about. And you're going to go on as though nothing happened as you meet people throughout the day. You're not going to know any wiser that you're actually a superhero underneath, and you don't even know what you're capable of yet. And I want you to think again for a moment about what you really want to achieve. What would just make you happy? And what is one action that you could take towards making yourself happy? Maybe it's meditate with your super suit every day. You're going to ground these new memories into the matrix of the universe. And when you're ready, just take a few nice deep breaths. And I want you to embrace this full moon tonight. I want you to embrace that power that if we needed a big tool to just kick our asses in the right direction right now, this moon gives us no reason not to. Just go for it. We have all things energetically helping us. We have all things energetically lined out. Yeah, if you guys, I love making moon water and charging your stones. So I fill up like a big pitcher of water and I put it in the windowsills. I actually put it in my kids' rooms because they have this direct light to the big moon all night. It's just gorgeous. So depending on where you are in the world, find a nice big windowsill that you can put a pitcher of water on. You can even just, use it to drink for the next few days. You can use it to water your plants. It's almost like holy water. It's just beautiful. It's like blessed moon energy water. And you actually ask the moon to bless it, and it's a really great thing to do to your water anyways before you drink it. But our crystals are supercharged by this full moon. So some people tend to, if they're outside, they'll actually go plant them in the ground just to get the ground and the moon energy all at once, or they'll put them on the windowsill. Sometimes they'll put them in the ground if it's, they've been using them a lot, they'll just need a little bit of extra. I prefer to have them right out in the moonlight. So I'll put them just on our deck, like on picnic table, or on the, outside somewhere where I can get it. But versus that, you can always do a windowsill inside too, and definitely charge them up overnight. Tonight is the night to do that, absolutely. And same thing with the moon water. And even, have a nice late bath, throw some Epsom salts in there. If you happen to have some loose herbs, some cilantro, some thyme, some basil, go just sprinkle some herbs in your bath. If you happen to have some frankincense oil or patchouli, lavender, throw those in your bath. The only thing I don't recommend at night is peppermint or those citrus oils, because they can kind of wake you up. But the oils are a beautiful addition to just kind of helping us along with some of that stuff. Like if we know that, like for me, I really know my solar plexus is an issue. And it was also because I got crushed in my accident in my gut. So I've been healing from chronic irritable bowel for like 3 years as well. So, there's actual blunt force trauma that can cause some of this stuff too, right? It's not just all in our heads. It's not stuff we created. It's just stuff that can kind of get stuck because we don't release it a lot of the time. We end up just adding stuff on all the time. So I hope that was a meditation where you guys could actually just follow and just kind of do some of that releasing and just asking yourself to heal. And you can totally just push that on button that, really touch your heart, touch your high heart. Do you guys ever feel it where you get a little jump in your heart, like the heart almost skips a beat, or you almost can feel like a little, it's almost like excitement, but I always feel it when I'm asking my body for a yes or a no, or every time I sort of touch my sentience, I kind of get that. So absolutely share with me if there's anything. I have a few minutes before I have to run off to another meeting and leave you guys for this beautiful Friday night. I'm so grateful. Did you want to share anything? Were you able to follow it? Were you able to, was it fun? I'll shut up. How about you, Heather? How did you do? Oh, you're muted. Sorry. I think there we go.
I was able to stay awake for once.
Awesome.
Usually I baboon, and this one I was awake through it all.
Perfect.
And yeah, the Saint Germain, the violet light, I've been doing that quite a bit, and it's helped me. It's helped me quite a bit to, I guess, relieve stress. So when, like, I was so ready for that spaceship and whatever, I was like, oh God. It's like, I'm home, baby, I'm home. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I didn't want to come back.
I'm so glad. And that's the thing too. Sometimes I'm like, okay, everybody stop playing. We got to go now. But you know what? It's funny because I don't think, maybe like once or twice a year, I really feel Saint Germain there with that violet light. And I just saw it huge above my head there. And it was really interesting. So that must've been you bringing him in there. That was really cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing, Heather. That's awesome. How did you guys do? Sarah, Jesse, you're unmuted. How did you go?
Yeah, I felt good that I've been babooned out.
That does happen.
Yeah,
that's good. I think that was your body just allowing, just surrendering. Actually, that was really nice, because it's not, this isn't one that requires you to really come up with things. It's more getting into that allowance, that surrender of being in that space. That's hugely powerful, hugely powerful, because then you're not thinking negative thoughts or positive thoughts. The energy is going where you're allowing it to, and it can finally do its magic, right? Love it. And how about you, Miss Sarah?
Oh, Jackie, that was beautiful. Thank you. Well, the part I remember, uh, at the point where you invited the suit to kind of pixelize, and as we got to the knees, and you explained, or you left the suggestion there of what it was doing, I whatever was being worked on, my conscious mind tapped out. And then it was like you invited us back.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
which is really interesting because this past week has been, I just, the symptoms of my injury and my state of being this past week has been, it felt like I turned the clock back a good 5 years.
Mm.
And I was really quite frustrated with it this morning, and I called my coach and I said, I don't get it. Like yesterday I was allowing and doing all the things, and it's just not making any sense to me. So it was very timely. I said, I don't know, I'm going to go Jackie's thing. She's probably got a thing for that. So thank you, because it seemed to be right in the pocket of what would support what's going on with me. So I really hugely grateful. Thank you.
I'm so glad. So glad. Yeah, it felt really good. I know you guys will be like able to just be able to feel a little bit lighter. Hopefully the things will kind of, I feel like with this, it's almost like the computer needs to shut off now and reboot so that everything can kind of like really run. Like it's like you hopefully have a really good sleep tonight. I, especially because of the full moon, I expect like some sweating to go on while we're sleeping tonight, like some releasing. You might even get shaky or chills. There's going to be hopefully some stuff really moving. And I'll make sure that I message each of you with a replay so that if you want to have the meditation in your head so that you can kind of go in and do that little healing for yourself, because it's basically just a little healing for yourself to do anytime. So it'll be nice to just be able to tap into that last few minutes.
So Jackie, tonight being the full moon, is tonight pumpkin seed night?
Pumpkin seed
Or do
night,
we wait till tomorrow?
basically, no, you know what, it doesn't really matter as long as it's within the 3 days before and 3 days after. You kind of, or 2 days before, 2 days after, you kind of have this window. So my question for you would be, because there's sort of two cycles. There's a white moon cycle and a red moon cycle. So red moon cycle is generally when women get their period over the full moon, and white moon cycle is when we tend to get it over the new moon. So if people know when they ovulate, I can tell if they're a red moon cycle or a white moon cycle, and then we can balance it out even more specifically. So so what would be right for you may not be right for that general population. Generally, I go by red moon cycle because we're all usually healers and this kind of stuff. Like it just tends to be the women I hang out with. Do you get a normal cycle anymore?
No.
Okay, then your red moon cycle. So that's perfect. So, and it's really neat because then you can help people with this too, right? So basically, if you don't have a cycle or if you're on birth control, we just go by red moon cycle. And so what that is right now, you're going to switch to you're going to switch to your pumpkin and flax over this next couple of days. And you're going to do that for 2 weeks. And then you'll switch up to your sunflower and sesame for the last 2 weeks once the new moon comes in. Awesome. You
Awesome.
guys
Thank
are
you.
rock stars. Yeah, you're so welcome. That's
You know, I'm like,
beautiful.
well, the full moon energy is here and I'm feeling like might be a pumpkin night, but I'm not,
Yeah.
I must ask. So thank you.
Yeah, it would be a really good snack for the night. Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, I think I might go do that too. Feeling peckish, and get out there tonight and do some stargazing and food's really grounding, right? And that's why your body's asking for that right now too, because it's going to ground you, because it's all frequency. The food has, rose has a frequency of like 328 or something megahertz. So just by using your passion oil, you're cranking up your vibration level like crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing. I hope you guys didn't mind the oil. Like, did that make sense, or was it too like, I never want to be. It was okay. Thanks, Jesse. Thank you. That's awesome. Did I get you to share, Jesse? Did you have a chance to, did you want to have a chance to share anything else?
No, I what do you call it? Zoned out. But yeah, no, it was awesome. I learned heaps. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It was awesome to have you guys care. I'm just going to stop the recording and then I will say goodbye quickly.